bit early. Okay, so you'll be able to see from here. Hi guys, just bear with me. I'm just getting set up. This is going to be interesting because I'm going to be standing back from the camera, so hi Karen, hi Michael, thanks for joining. I may not be able to answer your questions as you ask them, but I will try to remember to come up and look at the camera and, look at my camera, and hopefully my dogs don't disrupt this too much. So one of them's starting to growl. So one more minute and then we're going to get going. I'm just going to make sure that I can see okay. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. We're just going to do a couple of quick exercises. I'm going to show you a couple exercises with some progressions and regressions, so that if you're a beginner and you want to try these, that you can, and you don't have to feel intimidated. And there goes my dogs. Just one second. There they go, they're gonna bark. Of course, they've been quiet all morning, and just as I start this, they decide to bark. Okay, let's get going. Today we're gonna go over 4 exercises. Hi, Richard. We're gonna go over 4 exercises that you can do at home with basically no equipment, and you can do them body weight, and I'm gonna show you a progression, so how to make it a little bit more difficult, and I'm gonna show you how to make it less difficult if you're a beginner. I also want to say that this video is live at 9:00 a.m. on the 20th, is it the 20th? 20th of March, 2020 at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're watching it any time other than that, it's not going to be live, it's going to be recorded. I will look back and look at the comments if you ask any questions, but just be aware that I may not be able to respond to your comments as you type them in. So I want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining. So today we're going to talk about the chair squat, the single leg deadlift, planks, and mountain climbers. And again, why I like these exercises is the squat and the deadlift are great for working on the stabilizer muscles, so the hips and thighs, what keeps us upright when we're walking, and also what helps us rise from a seated position. And these are really important for people with Parkinson's, as we tend to have lots of issues with balance. So you want to make sure that you're strengthening this area, the core and the thighs, and keep yourself nice and strong that way. Hi, Krista. So I apologize for my dogs. They are going to be jerks and come in and ruin the show, but I'll do the best I can. So let's get started with chair squats. So you can use a dining room chair. I'm going to use this little chair right here. And like I said, these are great for hips and thighs. So how to do a chair squat is you're going to stand with your feet just wider than hip width apart, toes pointing forward, okay? And you are going to sit back on the seat. Now, when you're doing a squat, it's not a downward movement, so the bum doesn't go down. I want you to think of your hips going backwards and you're hinging from your hips. So we're going to sit on the chair. And then when you stand, I want you to think of pushing the floor away, not just rising up. I want you to push the floor away from you, so when you rise up. Okay? So it's a real simple movement, but I want you to focus on getting your body mechanics correct. So feet just hip width are a little bit wider, toes pointing forward, and your core is tight. Always hold your core tight. Everything I'm going to ask you to do, I want you to keep your core tight. We're gonna put our arms in front of us and we're gonna sit back. And you can sit right down and then rise up. Now to make this a little bit harder, for those of you who might think, well, this is pretty easy, I want you to just tap your bum on the chair and rise back up. And that's gonna prepare you to do a squat. The arms are in front for counterbalance. Now I'll show you from the side. Okay. So feet just a little bit wider than hip width, or at hip width apart. I'm about a foot out from the chair, maybe a little bit less. Arms out in front, nice and tall, core is tight, and you can see my hips are gonna go backwards. That's the first thing that's happening, is my hips are going backwards. And I'm gonna sit down and then rise back up. And I'm pushing the floor away. I'm not thinking of standing, I'm thinking of pushing the floor away. And most of the weight should be in your heels, but I still want you to feel the entirety of your foot on the floor. So arms out front, core is tight, sit back, and back up, push with your feet. So I'm just gonna touch down and back up. I'm just gonna see if anybody has any questions. Hi everybody, thanks for joining. So that is a very simplified version of a chair squat. What you are basically going to progress to doing is, so if you're someone who has to sit on the chair, if you have to do a full sit, where you're going to sit down, I want you to pause for 1 second, and then I want you to stand right back up again. And you need to work yourself up to doing, say, 3 sets of 12 to 15 of those, and then work on just touching your backside down. So just touching your backside down. Okay? And basically what that's doing is that's getting you ready to do a squat. Okay? So you can see how the movement, I don't have the chair there, but the movement is the same. So that's why I like the chair squat, is it preps you to be able to do the movement correctly. Now, a way to progress this is to add some weight. So I have a couple of just 5-pound dumbbells, because this is all I have. I do have some bigger weight plates downstairs, but I didn't want to bring them upstairs. So once you progress, when you feel comfortable doing the squat, you can still do the chair squat, put the weights up here on your shoulders, and just squat down. You can still use the chair if you feel comfortable, or you can even sit down and up. Okay? But eventually the progression will be, you're holding the weights, and that's a chair squat. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'll take a quick look. Again, everybody, thanks for joining. Oh, what did I do? Somehow I managed to switch my camera around. Okay, so that's the chair squat. If you do have a question, please ask and I will look back and answer it later. Now we're gonna move on to a single leg deadlift. Now, single leg exercises or unilateral exercises are my favorite. Hi Mark, how are you? How's that knee? Hope you're doing okay. Single leg deadlifts are a unilateral, so you're working one side at a time. And the reason why I like these exercises is they expose imbalances from one side of the body to the other. And then they allow us to address those imbalances by being able to work each side independently. So you can do single leg deadlifts pretty much anywhere, anytime. And they also help with balance. They're a balancing exercise. And you can use this you'll see that you have an imbalance from one side to the other. And then you can do these exercises. You focus a little bit more on the weaker side to help to create more balance in the body. So the single leg deadlift it can be a little bit of a challenge because, like I said, there is a balancing element to it. So you can use, if you're using a dining room chair to do your squats, you can use that as well. I'm going to use this foam roller. And with a single leg deadlift, I'm going to work with my left leg first. So you want to get all your weight into the working leg, okay? So I get into a kickstand position, make sure my weight's on this leg, make sure your core is tight, always your core is tight. And then you're going to think about driving the foot that's gonna go up, you're thinking about driving it up, basically like you're driving it up the wall. And you can put your hand on, I have this foam roller here, you can put that, your opposite hand, I'm just gonna put like a finger on it for balance, and you drive the foot up, okay, and down. And you should feel the movement is gonna come from your glute of your working leg. You're also gonna use the glute of the leg that's going up to drive that towards the ceiling. So both glutes are gonna be activated, slight bend in the knee, and you should feel your foot on the floor. A little bit more weight in the back of your foot, but your whole foot should be engaged on the floor. So again, we're gonna put all the weight on the working leg. I like to call this my kickstand position. We're gonna drive that up, back leg up. You can reach and back. You don't have to come all the way back up to standing. You can just kind of come back to this partial kickstand position and reach. Okay? I'm gonna show you from the side. Hopefully you can see me. So I'm gonna work again with the my left leg. Right leg's gonna go up. Get all the weight into my working leg. Glutes tight, core is tight. Back stays straight. I didn't mention that. Your back stays straight. You don't want to see any rounded backs. The movement should come from the hips. So I'm gonna drive my leg up. Oh. And back. Oh, and that's why you need something for balance. Still waiting due to Mark was supposed to have surgery, but he's still waiting to have surgery due to the coronavirus scare. So when you're doing this movement, you should feel the lift and the pivot should come from this hip. There is going to be a slight backwards motion to the working to your working leg. I'll kind of come a little bit closer. So you can see it kind of does go back a little bit, slight bend in the knee. My back is straight, core is tight, okay? So that is the basic movement. Now you can progress this by adding weight, or you can reach down to the floor and touch something. So I have a little 10-pound dumbbell here, and I'm just gonna place it on the floor in front of me. I'm gonna use my other leg. So I'm gonna work with this leg. This is going to be the working leg. This is going to be the leg that goes up. And I'm going to use this hand to reach down and touch the dumbbell on the floor. And this just encourages you to get into a horizontal position. So all my weight's in this working leg. Reach down. Oop. Helps if you look somewhere about 10 feet in front of you, not at the camera. And back up. And back up. And when you're going down here, you want to try to make sure that you don't open up your hips this way. You want to make sure that you try to keep your body as horizontal as possible and reach down and touch. Now you can also progress this by holding the weight. So again, I'm going to be working with this leg. This is my weaker leg now. I'm going to hold the weight in the opposite hand. I'm going to use my foam roller for balance because I have terrible balance, as most of us do. You can also do this with your hand against the wall. Okay. Core is tight, engaged in my glutes and hip, and make sure that I have my weight into my front leg, my working leg. And you're just going to reach down and back up. Back is flat, core is tight. Driving the back leg up. Okay, so that is a single leg deadlift. You can use anything. You could use a dumbbell. You can use a jug of laundry soap. You could use a weight plate from a weight set. You could, anything that has a couple pounds to 10 to 15 pounds. But I want you to focus on getting the form correctly first. So making sure that you are, when you're going forward, you're keeping your back flat and your hips. I can't balance and look at the camera, so I'm going to hold into this making sure that you're lifting the top leg and the glute is activating. Okay, making sure that you're keeping your body, your back flat. Not, I don't want to see this or this, you know, or overarching. You want to make sure that your form's correct, and then you can add weight. So, hi Rich. Hope you like the video. So that's the single leg deadlift. Now we're going to move on to planks. So I'm going to have to move the camera. Bear with me. Okay. So planks are honestly not my favorite exercise for core. They're hard on the lower back, and for a lot of people they can exacerbate back problems. So, but because I was asked to show a demo, I will show you the plank. So I'm just going to grab I don't have my yoga mat because my daughter's borrowing it. So to do a plank, the basic plank is to get into a push-up position. So your wrists are below your shoulders. Look forward. Core is tight. And then you would hold this position for however long you feel that you're able to hold it. So you could hold it for 30 seconds and then come down and rest for 30 seconds, come back up. You can also do a plank from the knees, the hands and the knees. So again, you would use something to protect your knees. Okay, wrists are beneath the shoulders. That's not a very good angle. This is kind of hard to do. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Hold your core tight, making sure. When I say hold your core tight, I want you to imagine that someone's going to come up and punch you in the gut. And the reaction that you get is all the time that you're trying to guard your organs, basically. Hold your core tight. So, wrists beneath shoulders, my feet are up. I'm activating my glutes and holding my core tight, and then you could hold this position. You could also do from your feet and your elbows. This is gonna hurt. So you would get into this kind of position and then lower down to your elbows, making sure that you're holding your core tight. And then you can also do it from your knees and your elbows as well. It's not my favorite exercise. Like I said, it's really difficult for people who have low back issues, or who aren't strong in their core. It's a really difficult one to start with. So a nice alternative for that is the bird dog. And I'm going to show you the bird dog. So we're going to get into a tabletop position. I'll try to show you from an angle. Tabletop position. Wrists are below the shoulders. My back is flat. My core is tight. And my knees are beneath my hips. My toes are curled under, supporting myself. And I'm going to raise my opposite arm and opposite leg. So I'm going to show you with my left arm, right leg. I'll try to show you from a wider view. I don't want to change the angle of the camera. Okay, so I'm in a tabletop position. Okay, core is activated. Feet are turned under. I'm going to use my left arm and I'm going to raise my right and hold. And then you can go, you can either repeat that same side over and over, or you can go opposite arms and opposite legs, so you can go back and forth. So we would do it like this. Making sure you keep your back straight. Core is tight. Okay. Now when you're lifting your leg, I want you to think of using your glute to lift your leg. I don't want you to think of, the movement should come from your glute, right? So in here. So when you're lifting your leg, you're in this position. I want you to think of squeezing your glute as much as you can while keeping your back stable. So your core needs to stay nice and tight, and that's why you have the opposite arm going up to activate the lat to the glute connection. They work well together, and this is a great activator for before you do your squats, actually. So hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Yeah, so that's the bird dog. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you could do a Superman, and I'll show you Supermans. Okay, so Superman will work your back a little bit more. So you're gonna get down on the floor, and I'm just laying flat on the floor. Hopefully you can see me. My arms are gonna go overhead. I'm gonna basically adopt a position of Superman flying. Okay, toes are pointed, and then you're gonna lift opposite arm and opposite leg. Sorry, this is a regression. Opposite arm, opposite leg. You can do all four and down. Holding your core tight, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your glutes. And when I say squeezing your glutes, I want you to think of squeezing a nut between your cheeks. That's basically the best way I can think of describing what that would feel like. So that is a plank. And my alternate to that, which is bird dogs and Supermans. So the reason why we did planks first is because they are the prep for the next movement, which is a mountain climber. Mountain climbers are, I love these. Again, though, if you do have lower back or core issues, I can show you some regressions, but I'm going to show you the basic move first. So mountain climbers are done in a push-up position. So you do need to have some strength in the wrists. I'm just trying to make sure the camera angle is okay. Okay, so hopefully this is gonna work. Maybe I'll put it right in front of me. Okay, so mountain climber, we're in a push-up position. Okay, wrists are beneath the shoulders. And you should do this on a yoga mat because my floor is a little bit slippery, but make sure your core is tight, everything's nice and tight. Shoulders are back and down. I don't want to see shoulders up by your ears. And then you're going to take one leg and drive the knee up, supporting yourself with the opposite leg. Drive the knee up. Drive it up towards your chest. Core is tight. Drive it up. I'll show you from the side. Okay, so get a little bit farther away. Push-up position, or plank position, sorry. And I'm going to drive the knee up. Holding my core tight, driving the knee up. You can do them slow, which takes a lot of strength and you to hold yourself stable. It is hard to do it slow. If you want to add a little bit of cardio to that, you can do it quickly. So get into the position, and then 1. Do 30 of those. You can see I only did like 5 and I'm already sucking wind. So those are a really great exercise. Core, lower back, works all of it. But again, if you're someone who has issues with your core or lower back, you may want to start in a regressed position, which would be by doing it elevated, front elevated mountain climbers. Okay, so I'm going to do this against my couch just to show you how easy. There's my dog Daisy. Hi Daisy. So again, on the edge of the couch, wrists beneath shoulders. You can't see me. Let's see if this makes it a little bit better. Hi. Hi Morton family. Hi everybody. Okay, so I'm on the couch. This is actually a little bit easier on the wrists. Nice tight core, tight glutes, everything's activated. Drive the knee up. Drive the knee to the chest. Drive the knee to the chest. So that by elevating the your hands, it takes a little bit of the weight off. It reduces the gravity, so it makes it a little bit easier. Now you can regress this even further by doing this against a wall. Hopefully the dog doesn't come and knock this over. Okay. So I'm going to lean against the wall. Again, my shoulders are going to line up with my wrists. Okay, I'm going to lean my body away, at least a meter away. I can't go any farther because my bed's in the way. Okay, make sure you're lined up. And then drive your knee to your chest. And you can feel the movement should come from your core. So I want you to think about activating your core. And I want you to think about almost like when you do a curl, I want you to think about using your core to drive your knees up. Okay? And the leg that stays down, I want you to push through your heel. So let's see if I can show you from here. Okay? So as I drive this leg forward, I'm actively pushing through the heel of the leg staying down. Push. So opposition. Driving one leg up, pushing back with the other heel. And that will help to activate your glutes in both concentric and eccentric positions. And it's a good exercise. The mountain climber is really good to do once you have your plank position down, you're more comfortable in a plank. So you can start, like I said, against the wall, on your couch, on your countertop, in your kitchen, wherever it makes you feel a bit more comfortable. The key is to activate your core and to use your to use your core to drive the knee up and to actively push back with the leg that stays on the ground. So that wasn't too bad. That only took me 25 minutes. So that's 4 exercises that you can do at home with no equipment other than your couch or your coffee table or your dining room chair. If you have a dumbbell or weight plate or something like a kettlebell, or if you have a jug of laundry soap with a handle on top, you can use that for added weight. But these are all things that are just fine to do body weight only. So